Thank you so much for staying on News Desk. Just gone by, we brought you an update on the limited voters registration exercise of the EC, and then we took you to Parliament as well, where the ad hoc committee hearing the alleged plot to oust the IGP is continuing hearing. It's now time to have a very important conversation, especially for those of you who just participated in the BEC, because it was chaotic and frustrating for some parents and 2022 BEC candidates while they tried to secure placement in their choice of schools using the computerized school selection and placement system. Now, hundreds of students had to do self-placements with the support of officials at the placement centers. Now, the challenge was blamed on systemic hiccups resulting from the placement system, as well as failure on part of parents and students to do due diligence during the selection at the school level. It took weeks for affected students to be successfully placed. Now, to avert a recurrence, the Ghana Education Service is urging parents and school authorities to take keen interest in the selection process. And so, in taking that keen interest, what exactly is expected of them regarding adhering to the guidelines? I'm joined today in studio by the National Coordinator of the Computerized School Selection and Placement Center, Mr. Mark Sasumensa. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's also a pleasure just to be in your studios.
Right. This is very important for a lot of young people because, I mean, they just wrote BEC, they're excited to further their education. Some of them are hit with massive disappointment. And sometimes, really, it's not their fault. Classic example is the Wesley Girls High School situation. So there are some who choose Wesley Girls High School and they think they've chosen Cape Coast, but they've actually chosen Kumasi.
Yes, we have a lot of Wesley Girls in
exactly, and there's one in Accra.
Across the country.
Okay, so it's a challenge. Yes. And you usually have to deal with and handle some of these emotional situations. Some of them are also legitimate because you've admitted in times past that even your system has had challenges. You've started a sensitization program. I know that letters at the district level have been written to some institutions for
not some institutions. So
all institutions. Okay.
All the district JHS schools, JHS schools across across the country. So we have about almost 19,000 JHS schools in Ghana. Okay. Just 1 to 19,000 JHS schools in Ghana, and we have about 928 schools that will be placing students into. This year, those completed, that is August 11th, they are around 600,714 students. So, and they will be going into the 928 schools. And these 928 schools include the STEM schools, which are 5. We have the senior high technical schools. We have the TVET schools. We have the TVET schools. And we have the senior high schools. And let me tell you, I think that this time around, it's not only Ghana Education Service that has the schools. TVET too, because students also are going into TVET schools and the STEM schools. You understand it? So they are not only going to Ghana Education schools, they are also going to TVET schools.
And the TVET. Right.
So under TVET, we have about 220 schools under TVET.
Okay, so that makes it, what, 1,100?
No, all the 900.
The 900.
928.
Okay, fair enough. Yes. So usually the challenge for many parents is how to go about the process. Yes. During my time, it was quite different, right?
Which year was that?
Oh, you want to expose me? Anyway, it was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I selected, I think, 3 schools, and then 3 schools. If my memory serves me right, was it 4?
Yes, it was 4.
It was.
It was 4.
Okay, well, 3. But now I understand they're selecting how many? 6.
6 initial, 5 after the 6.
Wow. So that doesn't it make it more cumbersome for you?
It doesn't make it cumbersome.
So in all of 11 schools selected?
I will explain it to you and you understand where we are coming from.
Okay.
I will tell you that, that since 2017 that we came to the CSSPS, there has been a number of reviews that we do since 2017. And I will ask you, why do we do the reviews? We do the reviews to address certain challenges that we envisaged the previous year. You understand it? So if you come out with that, as a result of that, we have had a quite number of reviews, like the 30% public equity, whereby every vacancy that is declared from every secondary school, 30% must come from the JHS, the public JHS schools.
In that region or in?
Across the country.
Across the country, okay.
It's not in that region.
Okay.
That policy is outmoded.
Okay.
Good. We've also had, as you were saying, when we came after 2016, they were choosing 4 schools. Right now it was 5 schools. It came to the 6 schools. Then here we are. You understand it. All these reviews that we've been doing is to ensure that at least we bring equity, fairness into the system.
Here's what I think you're doing. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think you're making the net big enough so that if you don't get your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, you may get your 11th choice. So that you people don't have a headache of saying, because the narrower it is, the more difficult it is to please the students.
Very well. I think that is.
So
we are trying to. No, we are not outsmarting anybody. You know what? For example, last year, let's start before we come to, let's say, the selection.
There's a lot to discuss.
Yes, the selection itself. Yeah. You understand that? For instance, last year, when we did the automatic placement, we had about 68.4% people getting their schools, getting their schools, that they want to say schools that is selected. About 31 or so point something percent couldn't have access to any of the assist schools. It gives pressure to the minister. It gives pressure to all the 2 director generals, that is TVET services, Ghana Education Services. You understand it? It gives pressure to the CSSPS coordinator. It gives pressure to the free SSS coordinator. You understand it? And it gives pressure to what? The general public. Right. Because if you don't get access to any of your 6 schools that you chose, then you have to resort to maybe self-placement. Okay. So in this way, we just want to make sure that at least by the time that we release the results, at least 90% of students will be able to get access to the schools that they choose. So 11
schools. All right.
Why is your emphasis?
There's so many questions.
Why is the emphasis so much on the?
The other thing for me is, and I'll reference my time as well, because a lot is happening in this short period.
Yeah.
So many changes, for which reason it's important that we sensitize the public. Schools are selected according to the grade of the school. Do we still do it that way?
According to the grade.
So, for example, I couldn't choose a grade B school for my first choice.
You couldn't choose a grade school for your first choice.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So the schools are classified, right?
Yes, they are categorized.
Yeah, so
they are categorized. They are
grade A schools. So can I choose a grade A school as my 11th choice? I just want to.
You can, yes. That's why. Okay. That is why in explaining all these issues.
Right.
Maybe definitely, maybe I'll answer most of the questions. So if you allow me to
go please through, run us through the process.
You understand? If you allow me to run through, I believe definitely all these questions that maybe you may be asking me, maybe I'll be answering them. So this year, as I told you, good morning, the general public again. I think this year there has been a review in connection with the school selection and placement. Well, this year, we have about 928 schools in all the events in the school register. All these things that I'm saying are in the school register. This is what I'm.
Okay.
And all these schools, by the dint of the hard work of the Honorable Minister, all these registers have been printed to all the JHS heads across the country.
Okay.
So
both private and public.
Yes, both private and public. So they'll be able to just get access to this school register.
All right.
And see, and use them as a reference point in selecting their schools. So this year, they are supposed to select initial 6 and last 5. Good. The initial 6, as I told, I'm going to give you the statistics of the whole thing. We have about, in the category A schools, we have 92 schools. The 92 schools comprise of the STEM school, which is 5. We have 34 schools for the for the TVET schools, and the rest are for the senior high technical schools, and senior high schools. So in category A, we have 900, in category A, 92 schools. 92 schools. You are supposed to choose only one school from category what? A.
All right.
In category B, we have 260 schools. 260 schools in category B. I said 260 schools. The maximum that you can choose from category B school is what? 2. That place too, we have 34 schools for TVET schools. 34 schools for TVET schools. The rest are senior high technical schools and the senior high schools. The category C, we have 574 schools in category C, 154 schools for that's TVET schools. The rest are what? The rest are
for the others, SHS, TS, and SHS.
Very good. The maximum that you can choose from that is 5.
Okay.
You understand it? So, for instance, if I have assessed myself, I see that no, for me, my performance, I believe that I can do well in the exams. Therefore, I have assessed my performance. Therefore, maybe I would like to choose all my 5 schools from what? Category C and choose one compulsory day school. And we have category D. I told you that the schools are categorized into 4 categories, A, B, C, and D. And the category D comprises of all the 928 schools that we have in Ghana. Because every school has day and boarding. Every school in Ghana. Therefore, you choose a school 16 kilometers radius within your catchment area. So you must select one compulsory day school, or a school, or all the schools that are in Appendix 3, which those schools are called the special boarding schools. Why are these the special boarding schools? Because for the last 3 years, we've been seeing that those schools, after the automatic placement system, vacancies still exist, both day and boarding. So
are you saying, because I know there are some schools that don't have boarding facilities. You just said all schools have day and boarding.
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, sorry for me to just repeat it again.
Okay.
We have the community day schools, but what I mean to say is every school
is either day or boarding. Okay.
I hope you understand it. Good. So for the special boarding schools, if the schools that you choose falls within the special boarding schools, which comprises 122 schools, you can choose it as either day or boarding.
Okay.
So you are supposed to choose initial 6 schools, But when you choose the school, one of the things that you should remember is that you should choose a residential status or a board and a program attached to the schools that you choose. Residential status, whether you want to be a day or boarding. A day.
It doesn't matter which school it is. Okay, so let me give you an example. In Infantiman Girls, I know the last time I checked, I don't know if Infantiman does day now, but when I was there,
Infantiman does day.
It was boarding when I was there. It was
Infantiman does day.
Okay, so I'm just giving an example. I mean, so it's just an example. So there are schools that do only boarding; they don't do day. So
everybody has a day facility.
So now, even in Wesley Girls,
they have day.
Really?
Yeah. For example, I attended St. Peter's. When I was in St. Peter's, we were not doing day, but right now we are doing day.
Okay, that's fair enough. So you've told us how to select for the initial 6. In category A, you must choose only 1 school. Category B, 2 schools. Category C,
5 schools. Maximum of 5 schools.
So I can make a decision that my first 6, I'll have 1, 1, 4.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, one school from category A, 1 from category B, and 4 from category C.
You can't choose because you must choose compulsory day school.
Okay.
So you can choose
compulsory day school is category D.
D. So you must choose 3 schools from category C.
Okay.
And 1 compulsory day.
So now the most important question for me here is so this is the initial 6. With the additional 5.
Yes.
Do I still apply that same principle? 1 from category A. Do you still apply that same principle?
Yes, I will come there. But let me explain the initial 6 because there are a lot of issues there, and there are a lot of things that parents and general public candidates must take notice. Because some of the students, when they choose when they choose the school, mostly they don't select the residential and the program. And the residential program is actually very important.
Okay.
If you ignore that, that means your selection is incomplete. You understand? That's why I just want to just...
so just make sure you select a program, which is general arts, science, visual arts, whatever program.
And residential status.
Whether you prefer day or boarding. All right, so that's established.
Yes.
Okay.
But let me also hammer that on the program, every school or every program is represented by what? A code.
Okay.
It's not just general arts. For example, general arts is 501. You understand? So when you are choosing the school, you must make sure that your code commensurates with the program that you have chosen. You know, some people just interchange it, and later they'll come and blame us that we have actually maybe made a mistake. I hope you understand it. That is why all these things that I'm saying are in the school.
In the booklet.
They are contained in the school. This is called a school register. They are contained in the school register. Right. So it will give you the accurate data of how you select your schools.
Okay. Now run us through the additional 5.
Yes. So the additional 5, you can see it at in the school register, page 122, appendix 4. Appendix 4 in the page 122. Now, it also says that candidate must select 5 schools in all. It's in appendix. 1 category A school, 2 category B school, and at least 2 category C schools.
I'll let you continue, but allow me. So must the schools in this section be different from the first one?
Yes.
Definitely. You can't repeat.
You can't repeat. I was about to say that. You can't repeat whatsoever. Because even if you repeat, the platform or the system will reject it because you have repeated the school. The idea is that we want to make sure that at least if you don't get access to any of your initial 6 that you have chosen, we will use the 5 also to run and give you admission.
Is my information invalid, or is the process invalid if I do not fill in the additional 5?
It's invalid.
So it's a must.
It's a must.
It's compulsory.
It's compulsory.
Okay.
So if you fail to select the additional 5, the system will reject it.
Okay.
The system will reject it.
All right. So this is important, and we're just giving you a
and it follows the same process.
Principle that you mentioned.
Yes, program. You must select your program and residential address. But let me tell you that definitely all the schools in that is the cluster, the 5, they are in a cluster. Those cluster schools, I think there are 406 schools. It is not every category A school that you find in the second initial 6. You understand it? The second initial 5, or the second 5 that you choose. Okay. You understand? All the A schools are around, let's say, about 8 or 10.
All right. So now you're introducing another element that I need clarity on. So the schools have been given a list of schools. And the list of schools, you just mentioned to us, category A schools are 92.
Yeah.
That is fulfilling the initial 6.
Yes.
When it comes to the 5, the additional 5, there's another list where the category...
They are in a cluster.
Another cluster where the category A schools here are 8.
Yeah. I wouldn't say more than, it will not be more than 8.
About 8.
Yes. 8, yes.
Okay. So all the schools have this data.
Yes.
Right. Now, the reason I'm asking this information is that the CSPS portal.
Yes, CSSPS.
CSSPS portal.
Yeah.
As a parent, I can go through with my child.
Yes.
But I don't have the list, or will I find it on the internet when I open the portal? Is it available there?
Yes, I will give you freeshs.net.
So that is what. So if you're a parent here and you don't want to leave the school selection of your child to the school authorities and you want to go through the portal yourself, or do that yourself, you need to go to freeshs.net to find the list of schools that your child...
The school register is there.
Okay, so the school register will help you understand.
And the video. We have a video that will help parents, general public to select the school.
Right.
Please, your name again.
BECE.
BECE. Even if you want me to leave some to maybe the Joy FM, in case people just want to contact you for this, I will be able to leave it. I can leave the video behind. I can leave the school register behind, so that at least those people maybe who don't have access, who don't have access to these things, they can contact you, because I think that you are a point of contact.
Right. We need to wrap up quickly. So what are we doing for the places that have difficulty in accessing data services, our brothers and sisters?
And that is why we have printed this.
So they will fill the forms. No, I'm talking about, because the entries have to be done digitally.
Yes.
Or do they have to fill a paper form?
Yeah, they fill a paper form in their schools, in their various GHS schools.
Okay.
Oh, so the GHS,
so the schools would now input it digitally.
Yes, into
but
the
what is the guarantee that when my child and I take this?
Because I know the question. That's why
because
I know the question.
Because
when they fill it, I will come out later and we do something called test for confirmation. You know the test for confirmation?
Okay, so how do you do that?
The test for confirmation is when we were doing the registration for all the BECE candidates, we asked them to provide a compulsory phone numbers.
Okay.
You understand?
So you're going to call all of them?
No, we are going to send text messages to all of them. I am maybe candidate BECE what?
Abubaidulans.
Abubaidulans, okay, good. So these are your data that we have in our system.
Okay.
Then we send all the data that we have in our system to you.
Okay.
So if
this is before the selection starts, so that if they are...
This is before the placement starts, not selection.
The placement, you're right. So does it mean then that I have the opportunity to rectify?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So that is called a test for confirmation. I think that we initiated this. We initiated, I think, last 2 years. Then we started. Then we also have the call center that will also be working. So I've told you that these are some of the reviews that we've done in the placement system to bring fairness into the system. I hope you understand it.
Right.
So we also give you a dedicated number.
Right.
In case you have a problem.
Can you just drop the number? I
think that the number is not, I think that we are now working on it. No, we have the last year's number, but let's see whether we'll use the last year's number, because sometimes you can change.
All right, Mr. Sassi-Mensah, I would really have loved for us to go, because there's just so many questions. So, but we've run out of time. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
He's the coordinator of the school selection placement system, and he's been sharing with us what very important details you need to know. So this year you're choosing 11 schools basically, and some of the schools have already started taking the data from the students. Is that allowed?
No.
Okay.
Let me give you the dates that they have to. They will start the selection from 17th up to 22nd of this month.
Okay.
You understand? From today.
From 17th to 22nd.
Yes, from today up to 17th, they are doing the sensitization, the various regions, various schools across the country.
Okay.
So our men are on the ground doing the sensitization.
Please, this selection you're talking about, does it include entry into the system, or is just for the paperwork?
For the paperwork to the heads of the school.
Because I know schools that have done that already. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that behind the scenes. But you can reach out on freeshs.net. We're taking a quick breather for business. Sorry I had to rush you. But we will be addressing all the issues as and when they come up.